What's up, and welcome to this spooktacular edition of Nighttime at the Nerd Bar, episode 48.
Happy
Woo!
Halloween!
Mwahaha. I'm like, oh, okay, we gotta do all the cheesy Halloween puns. So spooktacular,
let's
leave
go.
us your favorite puns down below. Let us know. I feel Halloween's like, because it can be scary, but can be funny too.
Oh yeah, no, this is why spoopy and creppy have become such a thing. All right,
Yes.
for those who are like, what?
Saying,
Misspelled
what?
decorating signs saying spoopy with an extra P instead of a K, and creppy with extra P's, so CREPPY.
I don't think I've heard creppy. Wait, what is
Creppy?
that one?
It was supposed to be creepy.
Oh.
Creppy never caught on, spoopy certainly did.
Yeah, spoopy works. It's just like cute sounding, and thus what the name entails, because it's like it's not scary, it's more cutesy.
Spoopy. Yeah.
Yes. All right. So with this special edition, we will be talking our top 5 spooky or spoopy things you should be checking out. So it's a whole edition of stuff you should check out, essentially.
Yes.
Yeah.
So and that is because this is pre-taped. We are not actually doing this live right now. So hello to everyone in the live chat. We love you. We're not here. It's a Halloween illusion. We're at parties.
Yes, we hope you are having a safe and happy Halloween as well, by the way.
Yes.
Stay
safe, consume in moderation. Make sure to be careful when you drive.
Yes.
Check your children's candy for... Have you seen those memes?
Yes.
It's the thing going around is parents check your children's candy. I found, and then the ones that I've seen that I've loved have been like the Balrog of Morgoth and a note saying we've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. For the whole nobody puts drugs in candy for kids. That doesn't. If that has happened, it has been one of those very few and far between things that's gotten blown up. Still, take a look at your kids' candy, but like, maybe you don't need to worry quite that much about that bag of Skittles,
Actually, you inspired me of one of the films I will be talking about. I was like,
my guess at this point is going to be Trick or Treat then.
That too, but yes, we haven't done introductions. In case people just came to us just because of Halloween stuff. Hello, I'm Kari Lane.
And I'm Katie Cullen. I'm the meme one, evidently.
I was showing off my spooky, and I love that we're both in orange. And also, if you're new, this is a wig. This is not my hair. Thus, I have my green lipstick to keep with the green going. But
yeah, and I've got the black going on, like digging through my makeup going, where did I? Oh, I forgot I had that.
Yes. And I must say, after I've had long hair before, but it's like itchy and feels so different. So in case anybody ever wondered, yes, I had longer hair before. Just go to my social media. You'll see pictures. But let's get into our Halloween special. We'll be counting down our top 5 of the list. So since you kind of said it and it reminded me, I'll start off number 5 for me. And these are essentially in order, I know, but I hate lists sometimes because I'm like, it depends on what you're in the mood for. But
see, I didn't realize when I said 5 spooky things, I didn't think it was like our top 5. I was like, this is what I want you nerds to watch.
Oh, good. Then yes,
it's not ranked. It's just like, and the thing is, because this is pre-taped, I can't sit here and talk about the reasons you should watch Wendell and Wild because at the time of this pre-taping, it hasn't dropped on Netflix yet, and I don't want to spoil my lovely co-host. So Wendell and Wild is not on my list solely because we're pre-taping and I cannot talk spoilers, but please understand, you should be watching Wendell and Wild.
Yes.
At this point, it has dropped on Netflix. It's a nice, good, spooky thing. It's good for, I don't think your bittiest kids will be here for it, but I'd say like 8 years old and up. It's PG-13 for a reason. You know what your family can handle, It's a good time. If your kids handled Coraline, they will handle Wendell and Wild just fine. If your kids didn't handle Coraline well, they might still handle Wendell and Wild okay.
Good to know. Yes, so thank you for I realized we didn't quite discuss that of counting down or just 5. All right, so here's just 5.
Just 5. Let's just do it.
My first off one, which you mentioned with the killer candy idea, is Killer Legends. It's a documentary that came out in 2014, and it is going into the origins into the origins of some terrifying urban legends. And I think it was really well done. It's really well done. Maybe some bits are a little bit cheesy, but it's still really interesting to see where they look at, like, I think it's maybe about 5 different legends. So they have the candy one, why are clowns scary, the babysitter, the hook, something dangling above
And
your
or hook hand car
car.
door. Yeah.
Yes. So they look into those, and some of them do have very obvious, this thing happened in real life, thus kind of spurred the story and the tale. And so it's a really cool documentary. Just looking right now, there's a lot of all of these. We will, if we know exactly where to find it, we'll tell you. If not, happy searching. But yeah, go check out Killer Legends from 2014 if you're into just mythology, documentary, legends of like where they come from. It is very, very cool. That would be mine.
That reminds me of there's on Shudder, and I'm pretty sure it's still there because I'm pretty sure it was a Shudder exclusive. There was a documentary about cursed films where the production, talking about the production of certain movies and how it was like cursed, things went wrong. It's 6 episodes. The first 2 episodes really did seem like cursed films, and the rest of them were about deaths on set. So like some of it's really interesting and some of it's really sad. Like there's an episode about The Crow. And if you do not know, the actor who was playing the main character of The Crow, there was a mishap on set with a misuse of a blank in a gun, and he was shot and killed on set. It was evidently, if you shoot a blank, it can still stay in the gun. So if you shoot another one, the first one comes out like a projectile. So the first 2 episodes are like, yeah, really weird stuff is happening on this set. No one ever explained it. And then the rest of the episodes are like this. They talked about the
safety, I think it's
on
the set.
Twilight.
Yeah, the Twilight Zone movie one.
Twilight
That one,
Zone movie they talked about, and it's like
destroyed my heart.
Yes. Ooh, yikes. That's so it's like the first 2 are cursed, and then the other ones are tragedies. So if you decide to go into that one, it's good production value, good interviews. Be forewarned on that one. That's actually not what I was going to recommend. It wasn't on my list. Yours just made me think of it. I was going to go straight in the garbage heap, and saying that I'm going straight in the garbage heap is contentious because I'm going to recommend Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, y'all, this franchise, this game scared the hell out of me when it first came out. Just one of those like, and how far down the street is the nearest Chuck E. Cheese's? Like 30 minutes away. I'll be fine. They'll kill everyone else before they get to me. It is the quintessential haunted animatronic attempting to kill you video game franchise at this point. There are 7 or 8 of them, not including spin-offs, mobile titles, VR. At this point, like 7 or 8 main franchise games. It's very much, the games are mostly resource management. You are the nighttime security guard at this play place, at this pizzeria, that their main attraction is the singing, music playing animatronics. It's very Chuck E. Cheese's. I know there was another one, and I cannot remember what it was, but there was another restaurant that also did like the animatronic band bit. And the bit is that there were child murders committed in this pizzeria however long ago, and the souls of those children are possessing the animatronics, so they are attempting to murder you, and you basically have a diminishing power supply and the ability to check security cameras and close the doors near you. Everything uses power. It's all very... It's one of those series where it was supposed to be the creator's last game. He was giving up on making games. He made this as a throwaway because people had told him characters in his previous games looked like animatronics and that they were creepy. So he made this first game, and it was a runaway hit, especially with streamers. That's actually how I started watching Markiplier, is his Five Nights at Freddy's stuff. And honestly, if you're not into gaming, or if you're like, it's too scary, I can't do it, just watch Markiplier's playthrough of all of the Five Nights at Freddy's games. That is actually what I do. It's a good time. Markiplier's playthrough, and then if you really want to know the, at this point, buck-wild, convoluted story, Game Theory has you covered with so many videos. There's so much in this franchise. but it's basically a resource management, survive the night, jump scare heavy, scary game. There have been some iterations on that. There have been some new ways to execute things. I was particularly fond of Pizzeria Simulator for being a pizzeria simulator during the day and a straight up FNAF game at night. I also loved Sister Location because it did a few extra things there. And we all know that Security Breach was a glitchy mess, a beautiful, ridiculous, glitchy mess to the point where doing a no glitch run of Security Breach is a legitimate achievement. So the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise is absolutely buck wild. Just super weird, super crazy, and I enjoy it quite a bit. Again, if you're not into playing the games yourself, Markiplier has a playlist of all of his playthroughs. They are hysterical because they alternate between him being scared, him screaming because he made a mistake, him screaming because there's a jump scare, and then yelling at the animatronics. It's amazing. So, Five Nights at Freddy's. It's
I
nuts.
like that that's number 5 for you.
Like I said, I haven't ranked these.
I know.
I have a heap.
Yes. The other thing I was going to say real quick, I will put it, or I'll probably repost it on my social media. And then I was able to speak with some of the filmmakers with Cursed Films for a different outlet. And it was super cool to get their inside scoop of how they made that and the process and everything. And I concur that's also incredible series. Have not played Five Nights at Freddy's, but I hear everybody really likes it. So
yes. Most of the games are fairly well put together, and then you get to Security Breach, and it's it occurred. Okay. It's interesting. It does some fun stuff, but some of it's also like, this is kind of a shambling mess. Is everyone okay?
The other random thing I was thinking here too is how we are doing all different kinds of medium too. If you haven't noticed, we're going to have movies, short films, series, games. So it's all over the place, which if you haven't watched this, that's kind of our thing too with the things we recommend. But in case someone's like, wait a minute. Yes.
Hang on.
So speaking
there hasn't been a FNAF movie yet. I know.
Like, wait a minute. Hold.
It's been a development hell for years.
So speaking of different mediums, these are some short films, so they're on YouTube. Go check out the account of Drew Daywalt. So that's DREWDAYWALT. And the two that I think are really great, I've watched quite a few of them, but the two that stood out to me is an early one called Bedfellows, and that's the someone in bed, but who's next to them, and just how it's done. And it's short, it's quick, and it's just really intriguing. It's nothing, that one's not necessarily something new, but how it's done is very good. And the other one that's amazing and just so bonkers bizarre is called Bad Cookie, and it's about a cookie that comes to life, and it's a woman baking on Halloween, and there's relationship issues she's having in this cookie. I don't want to spoil it, but it's very silly because it's a cookie that comes to life. So
it reminds me of Rubber.
Yes, but this cookie can talk a little bit. Oh, geez,
that's different. So, for those not familiar,
so funny.
Yeah. For those not familiar, Rubber is a extremely B movie about a tire that comes to life and kills people with its psychic powers. So.
And actually, real quick, I have a pseudo, since we're not doing a ranking, but honorable mention made me think about it. If you like shorts, I do highly recommend Yami Shibai over on Crunchyroll. I've done a review of, I think, like the second season before, and they've had quite a few seasons, and there's new episodes. So if you haven't been on and checked out Crunchyroll and a little bit of like that particular title, there's new episodes. And I love it because they are 4-minute stories. So there's opening credits and credits. So it's about a 4-minute story, and how they can achieve a tale in that short of time is really cool and creepy and weird. Some are like, what the fuck did I just watch? And some are just like, and some are just really whack. And other ones you're like, wait, what just happened? So
I feel like that's how short films work.
Yes, it is kind of that nature, but some of them are far more effective of getting a beginning, middle, end, and you understand what's going on. And some of them, I'm not sure if maybe it's a cultural reference on something of to be like, I don't know what happened. But if you watch it, please let me know and leave comments because those are some really good episodes. And some of them I'm like, oh, I would love to see. I think they've made some of them live action. I'm not totally sure. But yes,
Dang.
Yami Shibai. Katie.
Well, since we mentioned rubber, I am straight up going to change one of mine. I was going to recommend Willy's Wonderland because
I
I
feel
do
that's
love
a Jason
Willy's Wonderland,
Freddy.
and
Yeah.
I think I've also recommended it before. I've talked
Yes.
about it a little bit.
It's a really good one.
As long as we're talking about murderous animatronics, except this
Yes.
one has Nicolas Cage as our silent protagonist who fights back and makes it look amazing. It's a completely ridiculous movie. It's not bad enough to be a B movie. It's not good enough to be an A movie. It's a weird. So,
It's a wild
Willy's
ride.
Wonderland has been knocked off the list for the 1977 horror movie The Car. This is a movie about a town in, I want to say, it's in like the mountains. I want to say like Montana, kind of
Okay.
Montana, Wyoming, that it's in Mountain Standard Time. It's kind of up in there. Places I used to live when I was younger. And it is about a possessed car just killing people in this small town and people going, all right, Christine already did it. Like, I know. Christine was later. The movie Christine, I'm pretty sure, was what, an 80s movie? This was 1977. And it's weird because you'd think it would be. Christine was 93?
83.
83. And then I'm not sure when the book was published, but definitely before that. You'd think The Car would be a B movie, but it's actually fairly solid just in terms of it doesn't ever try to do more than what it's given you. This is a car. The windows are all blacked out. You can't see the driver. And it is going through this town, killing people. It hurls itself through someone's house to get to them. It can't go into the cemetery because it's hallowed ground. It's not a Camaro, but I'd been pulling the joke from the first Transformers movie, Satan's Camaro, because it's just this movie about this car killing people. And to me, what's so interesting about it is it takes itself very seriously, not super seriously, but enough that you're like, all right, no, this is a legitimate threat to this town. It also, and this really stood out to me, part of the town is a Native American. I'm not sure reservation is the right word. But half the population is Native American, including a number of the police, because most of the main characters here are the police and the sheriffs investigating this. And the Native American representation in this movie is fantastic because there's no mystical, oh, we're going to do this. Oh, no, they're people. There's one point where they go to interview a witness, and it's an older Native American woman who doesn't speak English. And one of the deputies is also Native American and just translates for her. And it's treated like the most normal thing because it should be. Like, this is some of the best Native American representation I've seen in horror. And it's in the 1977 seminal classic, The Car. It's fun. It's a very interesting watch. I'm not going to tell you that it's the best car-based horror you've ever seen in your life, but it's a fun one to sit down and watch and see how they treat it and see what they do. Some of it's funny just because the concept is ridiculous. It is a possessed car murdering people, but some of it they treat pretty well. It follows its own internal continuity. The logic is consistent. And again, some pretty damn good representation, which you don't usually see in the horror genre. And yeah, all the people who gets killed in stupid ways are white people. They don't, it's not the person of color is going to die first. Nah. All the victims are white people doing dumb stuff. It's incredible. So yeah, 1977, The Car. I don't actually know if it's streaming anywhere. It might be an Amazon rental, but it looks like it's a YouTube rental. $4 to watch this movie on YouTube. It's worth the $4. I think my mom got the DVD from the $2 bin at Walmart a few years back. So that's how we saw it, is her going, hey, I remember this movie, and sitting us all down and us going, what?
I don't think
So
I've ever
yes,
heard of it, so that's cool.
it's one of those weird, ridiculous movies that I love. So yeah, 1977, The Car.
Weird and ridiculous can be quite the draw, though. Of like, yes, I want
Yeah,
something
yeah.
really random and weird.
It's one of those, like, it's not the buck wild sort
Sure.
of rubber or Santa's sleigh or like exaggerated concept sort of crazy movies. It's just like, this sure is a possessed car that murders people. Let's just go with that. And it's interesting. There's just one of the earlier scenes. He passes a hitchhiker and ignores it, and the hitchhiker like yells at it and throws something at it. So then the car backs up and runs him off a bridge. It's just like, dude, it's wild. It's wild. It's a fun time.
I like it. We have mentioned some of these along the way, but that's cool to bring them back. I will definitely give a shout out to Trick or Treat, which came out. It's one of those, I didn't think it came out that long ago, but now it has been that long ago. I think it's like 2013. It never had a theatrical release. It recently did have one, but that is kind of a great quintessential watch on Halloween because it's set on Halloween. And as long as you follow the rules, you'll be safe, which I appreciate those. Similar to, I like how the Tales from the Crypt, generally, if you're not doing bad shit or being a bad person, you're okay. It was generally bad people doing bad stuff, and then they got punished. So it's like morality tales. So also shout out to that. Crypt Keeper series is amazing. Target for a while ago had them on sale. Tales from the Crypt is so good.
Did it?
Yes.
How long was a while ago?
Like 10 years ago, but I don't know.
Well, okay.
They could have had. I know it's one of those. I don't know. I just feel like I've had them in my collection for a while, but it's like a 6-box set, and they sold them that way. But recommend if you can find them. But yes, back to Trick or Treat. I like the anthology style of the story. It's a few different tales all happening at the same time. But the thing about this one is they do a really good job of how those stories are interconnected. Of, one character's going, they walk past someone else, and then you continue with the other person. They flip a lot of stereotypes on their head, which I really like too. So it's kind of refreshing of like, ooh, okay, I like that they do that. They're not afraid to do a lot of crazy violent stuff. So it is definitely on the R side of things. There is violence on children, not like, like just murder, mayhem. I feel there's a barometer of how disturbing that can be. But
children die in this movie.
Yeah. But it's important on the story. It's not necessarily gratuitous.
Yeah.
And it's fun and spooky, some good little scares along the way. The quality of it is great, but it still kind of retains that indie vibe, so it doesn't feel too pretentious the way some big Hollywood horror movies can think they're too cool for school. So yeah, Trick or Treat, really cool. I'm like, you can't see, but I have a poster on my wall of that one. So yes.
So I think that's on Netflix.
Oh, that's a good question. If it's now,
I have no idea.
I know they did a theatrical run recently because to celebrate it. Oh, I'm sorry. Correction. 2007. Oof. Even
I
older.
thought it was early. I thought it was like my brain supplied 2003. So 13 was like, no,
it's still playing in some movie theaters, which that's cool.
Yeah.
And let's see if I can watch it. Looks like it might be on Prime and some of those. There's so many other random streaming services. I'm like, I don't even know the names of these, but might be on Prime. And
I feel like Shudder is generally a very good catch-all. And I know there's a lot of exclusive stuff on there that I just straight up have not watched. But like, if you're into horror, Shudder is a good way to go. SHUDDER. And we are not sponsored. So I'm not gonna, none of that.
Yeah. Which actually, hold on, with that one, I think it's the documentary.
But yeah, Trick or Treat is fun.
Speaking of Shudder, not a shout out, but hey, Shudder, if you're watching, Horror Noir, A History of Black Horror is a documentary on there that's so good. And it is Black characters and filmmakers and just how they've been part of the genre of horror and how that has changed over time and their influence. And yeah,
Black
delving
actors and filmmakers.
well, and like the characters, like how that's part of it as well
Oh,
too.
it's about the character. Okay.
Yeah. I realized I said that little like
was like-
roundabouty way. So delving into a century of the genre of films that by turns utilize caricatured, exploited, sidelined, and finally embrace them. This is the untold history of Black Americans in Hollywood through their connection to the horror genre. So I like that they look at all those aspects. So
Yeah.
yes, that one should check out. Last I saw it was on Shudder. I don't know if it's still there, but
Yes.
yes.
There's other things I would like to put on this list, but I can't for spoilers. Everyone should watch Cabin in the Woods. Like
That's
if you
good
know, if
Yes.
you're into horror,
Mhm.
if you've watched horror movies, watch Cabin in the Woods. If you know what Cabin in the Woods is about already, go watch it again. It's a good time. If you have no idea what Cabin in the Woods is about,
Don't read anything.
don't Google it. Don't look up the plot summaries. Go into this sucker blind. I promise you it's worth it. And I didn't put it on the list because I can't talk about it extensively because of that. Like, there was one point where a friend wanted to borrow my roommate's DVD, and I put it in a jewel case to pass to her because I didn't want her seeing the DVD cover. Like, that sort of go in blind. Just go in blind. It's nuts. But yeah, I'm going to take a completely different tack and recommend Beetlejuice, the musical. For those like, hey, wait a minute. Yeah. But Katie, it's a musical. I can't see it. Well, if you're in New York, you can until January 8th. There will be touring companies. That touring company is going to stop in Los Angeles, and you bet your ass I'm going to be in there more than once. And otherwise, I can't in good conscience recommend some ways to watch Beetlejuice the musical. If you know, you know, and do the thing. If you don't know, I am certain that someone who's not recording a show to be put on large platforms will be able to inform you of such. To that end, there are a lot of people who have done animatics for the songs in Beetlejuice the musical. And for those not familiar with what an animatic is, it's kind of a storyboard sequence, but with a little more animation involved. It's not a fully animated thing. It's halfway between storyboarding and full animation. There are quite a few of them. They are all amazing. And the one that I'm really excited for that actually drops today, as in today, the day that you're all watching this, Halloween. And I had the tweet open and then Twitter closed it because that is my life. There is an artist who goes by Schnickles who's
That's
been
quite the
doing
name.
yeah, who's been doing, well, Nicole, but Schnickles,
I like it.
who has been doing animatics, and she has been working her ass off to do an animatic for the opening number, which is called The Whole Being Dead Thing. It's like a 4.5-minute number. It switches genres, musical genres, like 3 or 4 times. It's very fast. It's very wild. And so we've been sitting here going, her animatics are amazing. So this is dropping. Again, when you're watching this, it's already dropped. It's on her YouTube channel. Go watch it. But highly recommend Beetlejuice the musical. If you are familiar with the movie, it's a little lighter than the movie. If you're familiar with the animated cartoon, it's a little more concurrent in tone with that, but still has the plot elements of the movie. If you're not familiar with Beetlejuice at all, hi! I first watched the movie for the first time like 5-6 years ago, so I feel you. It is a movie with several plot threads, all of which are brought into the musical. The musical balances them a little better. It's about Beetlejuice, who is a ghost who is invisible to the living and really needs someone to say his name 3 times so he can get into the land of the living and get some goddamn attention already. It is about the Maitlands, a couple of, kind of white bread, super chill, kind of dull people who were just living their lives and died abruptly and are now ghosts who are dealing with, okay, we're dead. What are we supposed to do now? They want their house back from the family who has bought it, including Lydia, who is a teenager whose mother has recently passed away. So she's not getting along with her dad, who wants to kind of move on from that. He's not, it's Yeah. The whole being dead thing, the opening number straight up says it's a show about death. And that is what this is about. It's these three different sets of people working with or against each other, trying to figure things out, trying to figure themselves out, where they want to go, what they want to do. Um, the musical is zany, it's buck wild, it's a lot of fun, and the soundtrack is on Spotify if you just want to give a few songs a listen and go for it. And if you're cherry picking songs, Say My Name, The Whole Being Dead thing, and No Reason are all a lot of fun. But the whole soundtrack is amazing. So if you can see it live, highly recommend it. If you are not able to see it live, there's ways that I cannot in good conscience recommend. But there's also a ton of animatics on YouTube and multiple versions of the opening number filmed live and put on YouTube legitimately. They did it for the Today Show once and changed the lyrics appropriately. They did it at the Tonys the year that it was nominated and changed the lyrics appropriately. It's a chameleon of a song. It's very fun. But yes, Beetlejuice, the musical, the musical, the musical. Watch it, listen to it. It's a lot of fun.
Yay! I'll be excited to check it out when it comes to LA.
Yes.
All right. Yes.
Oh my God. I need to get tickets, but we're definitely like picking out multiple days and going, we're going then, we're going then, we're going then. It's not going to be, the touring company is going to be different from the Broadway company, and that's perfectly fine. It's all going to be wonderful.
I'll take what I can get. I'll be excited.
Oh my God, yes. But if you're in New York, you get to see Alex Brightman perform it. He originated the role, and he is a mutant. He has this extra like vocal flap that lets him do this really crazy, gravelly Beetlejuice voice that other people straight up cannot do. It's the whole Michael Phelps is a mutant and that lets him swim better because he's got that weird extra that's Alex Brightman, but that lets him do the Beetlejuice voice, and it's so good.
Very cool and weird.
Yeah.
I like it. This next one. So another throwback in a way, which I'm like, I didn't realize these are so long ago, but it is 2008 Pontypool. I feel I've mentioned it before, but it is spelled very uniquely. So it's Ponty and then pool, like a swimming pool. So Pontypool. It is a horror psychological thriller Canadian film. Looks like it might be on Prime and maybe YouTube subscription. But the thing about it that I really like is it's a zombie movie without really any zombies. Let me explain. So it is a radio station. So I also really like that this movie could almost be a play because it stays primarily in the one location of a radio disc jockey drives there, and that's like they're there. It's him, his producer, and like another employee there, and they're just going about their day, but then they're hearing calls, people calling in of weird stuff happening. And so they're hearing people call in and tell them about the problem, and then them trying to find out what's going on and just how the story progresses, what kind of tension is happening. Some zombies do appear. I'm like, no, I want you to know that because it is one of those, and they're going to be any zombies. But how they approach the tension throughout the movie is fantastic. And how it is contagious is really cool and different and not what you expect. And same idea. I think most all of these, please don't read descriptions besides what we tell you because we are curating this so that you don't get things spoiled. But yeah, it's a really great film, and the dialogue, the conversation, like how people, it's entertaining with even just people in like a radio booth and talking to each other. So definitely check out Pontypool.
The spread method is something that has stuck in my brain for a while. Just one of those, I keep thinking about it every time something similar to it comes up.
And Fizzkick is making an appearance on our show. That's my dog. Yes. I was going to say, we'll chat about it after because there's other things it's like, but I don't want to tell you viewers because then you'll know what it is. But
yeah, it's very much, I don't want to call it a bottle episode but that's kind of what it is, in that it's the single sole location. Incredibly good suspense buildup, a lot of play with language because again, like you said, it's a DJ. Very good, very spooky, sticks with you.
Yes. What is your next one?
Oh, see, I have to choose because I have more things on my list than slots.
Ha ha
That's
ha.
the problem.
We've thrown in some extra ones in
We
there.
keep
So
throwing in extra
I would
stuff.
we're
And then
we're doing a good chunk of time so far. But if you have a
Yeah.
couple quick ones,
I
go
mean,
ahead.
I think one of them is I've talked enough about Overlord that y'all should know what it is. The buck wild double isekai with someone not only getting isekai'd into their game, but all the NPCs they created and them getting isekai'd into yet another land and having to deal with the politics, the lay of the land. The fact that my dude is a skeleton and is the overlord of a tomb with a lot of monstrous NPCs who all adore him and are super not here for like humanity and all of it. So it's one of those, it sold me on the characters in the first 2 episodes. And then when they introduced the violence in the 3rd episode, I was like, well, I'm already committed. And now 3 seasons in, it's like, oh yeah, oh yeah. We've talked about Overlord. We've recapped Overlord. If you haven't figured it out yet, watch Overlord. If you can handle that level of violence, I understand if violence is really not your thing, in which case most of what we talk about probably won't be your thing. Beetlejuice, though. Beetlejuice is good without, like, they talk about it, but there's never a lot of, like, violence. It is a stage show. Yeah. Let's talk about Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. I like horror that's about horror. I'm realizing more and more that that is like my genre of choice. And Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon is, I don't want to call it a mockumentary. It's not quite that, but
Okay.
it takes the premise of all of these famous horror serial killers, your Freddys, your Jasons, your Michaels, they're all real. They all happened. And some people aspire to be the next big one. So the story is about this group of aspiring filmmakers who have found someone and he has agreed to let them document his journey to become the next big killer. And that's
Oh.
Leslie Vernon. And he's trying so hard. He wants to make a name for himself. He's got his strategy all figured out. He's picked his final girl. He's picked the friends. He's set up the mythology, the mythos around his persona, around who he's going to be. He has a mentor who is a retired serial killer. And it goes through all of these steps. And you're watching this happen and you're watching this. It's documentary footage. It's the documentarians are very much a part of this. And part of it is the morality of documenting this person doing this and knowing that he plans on murdering all of these people and going, well, you're just here to observe. Are you really? So there are parts of it where it's parody. There are parts of it where it plays it straight. It's got a very interesting 3rd act. So and some fun through the credits stuff. So I like it. I really enjoyed it. And if you are into slashers, if you're into your Freddys, your Michaels, your Jasons, etc., this is a very fun movie to watch because it examines those tropes and it definitely does some parody stuff, does some making fun of it, but it also looks at documentary filmmakers and okay, if you're in a world where this sort of thing is real, what's your role in this if you know it's going to happen? So it gets very interesting. So yeah, Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. The last time that I watched it, it was on Prime as I think a rental. I would imagine it's still there. It might have moved. It might be on Shudder, actually. It might have moved to Shudder. But yeah, let me see if I still have a tab open for it. We'll find out.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but it makes me think like Nightcrawler, that idea of documenting things that are bad. And what's it say about you if you're not doing anything about it and you're just more documenting it?
Yeah, it looks like it's a rental on YouTube and Prime, and Google's not showing it, but I also think it's a Shudder movie. I think. Could be wrong. But yeah, Behind the Mask. It's a good time.
Yay. All right, so my last one, and again, no particular order, but we've done all the dark and heavy and gory stuff, I'm going to give you something very nice, light, and fluffy, is How to Keep a Mummy. This show is amazing. It is absolutely full of pure cuteness, but with a horror twist to it. So it's this, it is an anime. It's on Crunchyroll, or at least last I watched it was on Crunchyroll. This young guy, his dad is an explorer and sends weird stuff home all the time. And so he gets a sarcophagus kind of gift one time. Okay, whatever. But out comes a mummy. And you kind of think, okay, well, what's the big deal? The mummy's like this big. It's like cute and chubby, and it's like a little chibi thing, and you just want to squeeze it, and it's so cute. You're like, and the thing is, he keeps it. It has, it never speaks, but it has a lot of personality in what it does and how it interacts with them and just their interactions. And then some of his friends start discovering other unique creatures as well. So it has the mythology of yokai and cute little like monsters. There's even a monster daycare episode.
Oh,
it is so precious. You're just like, what am I watching? And I feel, it's one of those shows that's so nice to have something like that, because there's like no real villain. There's no real problem, but it's not a slice of life that it's boring, because those aspects make it so unique and different. Like there's something kind of towards the end, but not really. So it's just like their weird day-to-day interactions and having to, how do you hide it? Do you bring it to school? Can you, leave it at home? And how do you feed it? And it's just absolutely precious. And you're going to sit there the whole time. Oh, so
basically the first 5 episodes of any Digimon show, but without the fighting things part.
Yeah, no fighting, and they're all of the critters are cute and like small and adorable. So if you want something way more on the spoopy side, or if you just want something completely, you love darker horror, like crazy stuff, but you want something different, How to Keep a Mummy is fantastic. It is absolutely precious. 100% recommend that show. And it's short too, so it's a nice, easy watch.
Sounds adorable.
It's so good. It's so cute. It's just like, I just want one too. Actually, wait. I have a sticker. I bought it at Anime Expo of. It's the mummy. Okay. Oh wait. If I did it angle.
That's really cute.
And
it's
in a little jar. Okay, hold on. Can I do
That's
that thing?
adorable.
Yay! Look at it. And he's just cute and it's not that small in the show, but it's that kind of cutesy.
Could be a big jar.
It could be a big jar. Oh, and actually,
vase with a cork.
Wait, just because I'm that weirdo here. Shout out. This is Sam from Trick or Treat, and this is a brand called Monster Tees. I don't know if they still have this. They have this as a shirt, which I have too. But if you like this kind of, it's almost like a neon, not street art, but like, yeah, just a little bit of a graffiti style, like spray paint and stuff. Go check out Monster Tees. There we go. Yes. And they have stickers. Anyway.
Good stuff.
Yes. And Katie, what is your last choice there?
I have another not quite runner-up, because I was thinking of it while you talked about this. The Digimon Ghost Game is the latest Digimon series available on Crunchyroll. And it's Digimon, but it's also like urban legends and creepypastas. It's one of those, technology has advanced enough that we have holograms in everyday life. They're mostly used for advertisements, whatever. Digimon start creeping in and start messing things up, bring these creepypastas or these legends to life. And so it's still very much in its bones a Digimon show. There's the Digivolutions, there's the power of friendship, there's the monsters fighting other monsters, but there is some gloriously creepy stuff in this show. It's Digimon. It's aimed at your middle school crowd. It's aimed a little younger, so none of it gets too wild. But, I will never forget the actual Halloween episode, including Pumpkinmon, who, for those of you who don't know, is kind of a little ghost with a pumpkin head who wanted friends. So he started kidnapping children, putting pumpkins on their heads, and then carving them while it was on the kids' heads. So it's one of those, thank God this is a kid's show, because otherwise someone would have been stabbed. It's things like that. Some of them are actually really heartwarming. Some of them it's just Digimon being mistaken about this world and going, oh, I was wrong about that. I'll back off. And some of them were like, no, leave.
Mm.
So it's a Digimon show, but it's a spoopy Digimon show, and it is so much fun. It's so much fun. So I love it. You're talking about anime. It's another good one to do. It cannot unseat my last recommendation, which I make jokes about seminal classic The Car. This one actually is a seminal classic, Scream.
Good
Like
classic.
I said, I love horror that's about horror. For those not familiar, the original Scream was done by Wes Craven. It was released in I want to say 93, and it is a slasher film that is about slasher films. It's very much commentary on what are horror movies like at this time, what goes into making a horror movie villain, who's safe, how do these play out. It is a very 90s movie in that one person having a cell phone is a very large plot point. But this is the franchise that gave us Ghostface and What's Your Favorite Scary Movie? And, for those of you who have seen the original Scary Movie, it's a parody of Scream.
1996, by the way.
86, thank you. There are currently 5 Scream movies and 3 seasons of a TV series, including
The show is really good. First season's really good.
We're still working on the third because they made the show for MTV and they made the first 2 seasons all in a continuity, and then the made for TV movie in that continuity as well. And I love that made for TV movie because our protagonist is having absolutely none of it and it's perfect. And then they dropped everything, and the third season is
that at the hospital
different.
Doctor's office thing?
No,
it was second season.
That second season includes some of that, yeah.
Okay, that's where I kind of fell off. Like, first season, so good. I'm throwing that in. I'm jumping in your recommendation there of like, if you want a scary kind of show, Scream the show.
Scream the show.
Very
Scream the show takes about 3 episodes to really ramp in the first season, but once you're in, you're in.
Season
and
1,
then
great.
I think the second season was just as good. I had more fun with it
really? Okay.
because we had established characters to play with and established things to work on. And then again, the made-for-TV movie that follows season 2 was an absolute delight because it had our main character, our Sidney Prescott, if you will, just being super done with everyone's shit. It was great. Unfortunately, we never got an end to that story, so go into the TV series knowing that you're not going to get a resolution for those first 2 seasons, because when the third season came along, they're like completely different everything, and they have not given us any answers. So it's like, well, that's just going to be that. The franchise has 5 movies, including one that was released last year. So it's still going. There's just a few between. And every movie has been commentary on the horror genre, on horror of the time, on making sequels or reboots to a horror franchise. And honestly, this latest one was amazing. Like, I know some people didn't like it, and that's fine. But it had commentary on franchising and also on horror fans and the state of fandom and the sort of ownership that fans can take over things for good or for ill. So it's the first Scream that I've seen in theaters. And there were points in that movie where if I hadn't been in a theater, I would have been yelling because of some of the things that were said. Some very pointed, whoever wrote this knows exactly what they are talking about. It's incredible. It's incredible. And like the good Scream movies, it has points to make, and it is going to make them. If you've never seen a Scream movie in your life, start with the first one. You can skip the third one. It's fine.
Which one is the one when they go to college?
That's the second one. Second one's good too.
I did like that one.
The third one is the one that's messy.
Okay. I watched them all. They're all entertaining enough for me, but and I was trying to remember. I'm like, I don't remember if I saw them in theaters. I think I generally ended up just watching them on video when they came out too.
Yeah. And the fourth one is the one that comes back like 10 years later because it took a while. And then the fifth one is just this past year and talks about the state of modern horror. And they're really They're an insightful movie franchise. They're also very funny. And it's one of the few franchises where we kind of have, like, I've talked about your Freddys, your Jasons, etc. Ghostface is in those annals of horror villains, but unlike Freddy, Jason, etc., where it's the same person, you know it's the same person, it's always someone different under that ghost face mask, and they are always very mortal. This is a series that doesn't do magic or anything like
Anything
that. No magic,
supernatural,
no
yeah.
mysticism, no supernatural. It's some asshole with a knife in a mask. And that means that occasionally you can win that fight. So it's a very fun, it's a fun TV series to watch. It's a fun series of movies to watch. Like, highly recommend Scream. If you've never seen a horror movie before in your life, you might be a little lost on some of the stuff. And also, the opening to the OG Scream is super intense. Yeah, but it's a good time.
It's a good one. Yeah. There are fun things about it, even if it's dated, but it makes it precious.
Yeah. And fun fact for the first one, the marketing around the movie when it was released and leading up to its release, all very heavily marketed Drew Barrymore. She was the focal point. She was in the poster. She was the star of this movie. If you've seen the original Scream, you know why that's like, oh shit, really? If you've never seen Scream, keep that in mind when you watch it. But yeah, it's a good time. Go watch Scream. It's a blast.
Well, we hope you had a blast watching our special spooktacular episode of Nighttime at the Nerd Bar. I'm like, where there we go. Boom. Yeah. Please let us know what you thought of our recommendations. Leave a comment down below. What are some of your favorite spoopy movies, shows, games, what have you?
Have you seen Gwendolyn Wild yet? The one that
spoilers.
I would recommend if it wasn't spoilers for everyone at this point.
Well, I was going to say comments, please, no spoilers.
Yes. Be kind in the comments to fellow people who have not had the chance to watch it.
And that's for anything, though, because all the ones we talked about have things that spoilers in a way. So,
oh yeah,
you're like, I watched it, I loved it, I hated it. Let us know.
Yeah. At the 18 things we managed to recommend between the two of us on our lists of 5.
Just means we're enthusiastic. We want to talk about more things. But so then let us know. We hope you have a wonderful, spooky, safe Halloween. And Katie, where can people
out there make good decisions? Tell us what you dressed up as if you chose to dress up. If you didn't have the spoons for a big, huge costume, that's fine.
You can wear a cool shirt.
Yeah, I'm basically taking some pieces out of my closet and throwing together yet another wizard costume, because at this point, with the sheer amount of accessories I have, it's easy and it's a legitimate strategy.
And thrift stores, you can find really great pieces there. You do not need to spend tons of money on a costume. Don't worry about that.
I mean, if all else fails, get like a white shirt and tear it up a lot, and then you can be a ghost. I've done that and then done a bandana and been like, yar, I'm a spooky pirate. It works.
I like it.
It works. Yeah. Little creativity, little budget, and go nuts. Or just like put on a shirt that says, this is my costume, and hand out candy. Also a legitimate strategy.
Or a tip.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, in a tip, if you can get cheap wigs. This is a super cheap wig from basic Halloween
Spirit store. Halloween store.
It's pretty much, yes. But put a hat on it, and it can make it look so much more realistic versus just because it's here along the hairline and the back where it looks like fake. But doing like this, you could almost think. I mean, this is not my hair clearly, but. It just gives it a little more personalized touch, or put a hair clip in it, whatever. Again, you do not need to spend buku bucks at any kind of Halloween store, online, thrift store. Be creative, have fun with it, play, because the whole point is to be having fun. So, yes.
It's also okay to not have any spoons left for the season and to just do your best. That is perfectly acceptable, and anyone who gives you grief about that is wrong. Yes, as long as you make the attempt. You're good.
Yes. Where can people find you online?
You can follow me all over the social medias as well as on YouTube and Twitch at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet. If you like reaction videos, longer discussion videos, etc., they live on that YouTube. I am also thematically appropriate, a co-host on Silver Screams on YouTube, where my roommate and I talk about and react to all sorts of fun horror stuff. I'm still not over our reaction for the Megan trailer, in which I receive 30 points of psychic damage in the first minute and spend the next 14 and a half minutes trying to recover from it, all on camera for y'all to see. And we also took a look at the Spirit Halloween trailer. They're making a movie about Spirit Halloween stores, and we're here for it.
Indeed. I dig the trailer for Spirit Halloween, so I'm like, I would watch it. I'll watch it.
They basically
It's Christopher Lloyd.
Hey, Christopher Lloyd, you want to come choose some scenery and be spooky for a while? And he went, do I?
Yes. I'd watch. Yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
He's a delight to watch. Yes.
He is.
Y'all can find me online at Kari D Lane. That's Karidlane. And shout out to here on the channel. There should be videos probably by the time you're watching this that Katie got from the Animation is Film Festival and that I did at the Animation is Film Festival. So if you're an anime fan of animation at all, go check those out here on the FANVERSATION channel. Make sure to give a video thumbs up and subscribe button. Personal channel, I did a montage kind of like summary of the One Piece premiere and after party. So again, thank you again to Crunchyroll and Toei and Animations Film Festival. That was a really cool event. And I'll be posting those interviews. They should be ready by the time you watch this. I think that's kind of it. Just follow on all platforms. Same username. Makes things easy. Yeah, that's it. So again, thank you for watching. Hope you have a good, happy Halloween. I don't know
Have
what this
fun,
is, but
be safe, make good decisions. You know, just be chill about the whole thing. Also, tell us what the worst Halloween candy ever is.
Yes, there we go.
For those of you who were like, oh, it's no hard mode, no candy corn.
Plain Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Necco wafers. Necco wafers, though, they're basically sawdust.
Okay, I don't think
they're
I know
like
that one.
Smarties, but worse. The best use of Necco wafers, because they're about this big and they come in multiple very dull colors, is if you're building a big gingerbread house, they make really good roof tile. That's what Necco wafers are for. They are not for consumption. They are sawdust. The Necco wafer fans are the people go, well, why did you say no to candy corn? Because it's the low-hanging fruit that everyone picks, and also because candy corn is great, and it's even better when it comes in pumpkin shapes.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't hate candy corn, but it's one of those, it's too sugary that I can have like one or two of them.
Oh, yeah,
all right, I'm done. But
yeah, I just want the pumpkins come in those big bags, and I'm like, no, give me a little snack-sized bag of pumpkins, and that'll do me for the season. Also, the flavored candy corn, like the Thanksgiving dinner flavors, that's an abomination. That's fair game.
Reese's Pieces, way better than Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. That peanut butter flavor, way better, just saying.
I'd say it depends on what you're in the mood for.
I never like Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Always.
But the best peanut butter candy is like those Palmer chocolate and peanut butter coins. They're good.
Haven't gotten those much. Yeah, there we go. Regional. Let us know what are some things of different areas. You know,
those are regional. I think they're just cheap.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe I went to fancier neighborhoods. I don't know.
Just talk to us about your Halloween stuff. Your good candy, your bad candy, your regional. If there's someone up your street who decorates their house like crazy, your costume or lack thereof. Just like Halloween, spoopy, scary skeletons.
I love it. Do it. Yes. All right. Take care, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Happy hunting.